Mahomes throws it to Kelsey in the middle of the field. Kelsey plowing ahead. Kelsey still on his feet, and I believe he's going to have the 1st and goal to go.
Can only feel the number of people out there being like, what's going on?
1st and goal. Mahomes flings it. It's there! Hardman! Jackpot! Kansas City!
And this was the Andy Reid special. This was the Andy Reid special we talked about. He was saving all day. He is the best. He is the standard. Your Michael Jordan wins it again.
This is Rafi Guzon, and you are tuned in to Nothing But That Sports Talk.
Welcome back to another episode of Nothing But That Sports Talk. I'm Rafi Guzon alongside somebody who was actually at Super Bowl week again, Deb Whitcas, another Emmy Award in the back, or at least, yeah.
Hi, everybody. How are you?
So let's get right into it because last week,
Right?
this past week and a half of Super Bowl and the aftermath of it was both positive and negative. I mean,
Unfortunately.
which one do you want to start with? You want me to start with negative or the positive?
I mean, I feel like let's do negative first and then jump to the positive. And also, too, I think just out of respect, I think it should, be just prayers out to the friends and families of Kansas City. Unfortunately, the young woman who lost her life, mother of two, just my prayers, and I'm sure yours as well, are going out to her family and friends, and just the entire city of Kansas City at this point.
Yeah, that's one of the saddest things we'll ever see. And what more can I say? People can't even celebrate a Super Bowl championship parade or a major championship without too much mass shootings going on. I mean, seriously, I thought we got past this after 2020-21. I mean, there's always going to be shooting no matter what calendar year we're in. But the fact that it happened in Kansas City, all I could do was just pray because I got family living down there, and my cousin Knox and my friend Shantae Harley, you're gonna meet her somewhere in the near future. She's a hardcore Kansas City fan, and even though she wasn't that satisfied with the game itself, I spoke to her about it. She's at least satisfied with the victory of its own, because that was a crazy finish. But getting back to everything going on, as I'm watching Catilin Clark trying to surpass Kelsey Plum in the all-time scoring record. This is like literally one of the most saddest things we'll ever see in the NFL after a championship win. Right.
Yeah. It's just sadness around sports, and I think you're just not used to it. You know what I mean? It's just I don't know. It was weird. I actually was a little worried being in Vegas. I was a little worried. Security was great. They did a great job. Everywhere we went, our bags were checked, our things were checked. We went through a lot of security measures. It's kind of shocking coming back and hearing the news about Kansas City.
Yeah, it's kind of shocking. Oh, but not as shocking as Catilin Clark as I'm sorry.
That's
Catilin
okay.
literally tied the record in the women's NCAA basketball history. Yeah,
oh wow!
Literally knocking on the door. She has 8 points that she needs in order to surpass Kelsey Plum. I'm sorry,
fabulous.
But if you're gonna be covering sports, you gotta make sure you highlight stories like this.
You know what? I'm a football girl.
You gotta do a lot about this, but I understand you run on a tight schedule.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all I can say about that. She's literally knocking on that door. She has 8 points. So
fabulous.
8 points that she needs. So this is something that you will never get past in women's basketball. And another
women's sports, gotta love it.
Is that Iowa will be one of the 4 teams at the Barclays Center to be involved in the women's basketball showcase next year on December 7th, 2024. So once December comes, get your popcorn ready, get your credentials. Right. You gotta sign up. That's all I gotta say. Now, getting back to this.
I love that you cover WNBA. It's fantastic.
And women's college basketball too.
And college basketball too.
But no, seriously. I mean, as I'm seeing the praises towards Catilin Clark, one of the greatest college basketball players you will ever see, and one of the greatest humans you will ever see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But getting back to the point, now that I'm sorry I have to move because
you're fine.
The recent news yesterday was literally one of the saddest things we'll ever see after the end of an NFL season, when you have at least one fan dead, and all you do is just celebrate his favorite team win a championship.
Mm-hmm. And she was media too, apparently. So I don't know if she was there as a fan or if she was covering the parade or what happened. But yeah, we just, like I said, prayers to her family and prayers to everybody involved. And there's really nothing more you could say,
Yeah, there's really nothing more you can say. But there's a lot more to say about but everything going on with the Super Bowl itself. Before we get to the game, let's just talk about the halftime performance by Usher. And
Yes.
there was some songs that I feel like Usher should have performed, like DJ Guys Fall in Love Again, or Love in This Club, like he did with Young Jeezy.
Yep.
I've been listening to Usher ever since My Confessions.
Yes, I love Usher. And it's funny, Nikki and I talked about it last night on the Blonde Blitz. I thought he started out a little slow. Like, I was like, okay, I don't know. I'm used to like a build up. Like, I come from a dance background. I've danced since I was 3. I've performed since I was 3. And I was like, oh, wow, he just like got right into it. I was like, okay, I wanted more of a build up. But then, obviously, I feel like when Alicia Keys came out, that's when the performance really like started to get hype. And then when he came out on the skates, I was like, yes, this is amazing. And then when Ludacris and Little John came out, I was like,
I thought the Yeah performance was all the hype too.
The what?
I thought the Usher Yeah performance was all the hype too.
Yeah.
That was the hype song back in 2004. Anything with Little John John like in the 2000s was all the hype.
Yeah.
That was back when crunk music was real.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that you were able to send that into this generation of hip hop and R&B music, for those that never listen to Usher, you will get entertained by the way this man performed. Yeah, and of course, and I get the idea, but and also let's just get to the Bob Boo performance he did with Alicia Keys. Very hype song. I love listening to that when I was in middle school.
Mm-hmm.
I love singing that out in the public and in Friday activities when I was in middle school. But the hugging from behind is a little too much. Well, not too much because, ain't nothing wrong with friends hugging friends from behind. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Do you think so? I don't know. Everyone made a big deal about it.
Were you and Nikki a little skeptical about that? Nick Speed's wife, by the way.
I know. Well, didn't he get married or propose after the Super Bowl or something? I don't know. It didn't bother me. It bothered Nikki.
Me either.
Brought it up.
It didn't bother me either.
Yeah, it didn't bother me at all. I feel like they're performers. They've known each other for years. This business is really hard. Usher just had a huge breakthrough. The man's 45 years old. And you know what I mean? Like, this is his first Super Bowl. He's probably deserved to do Super Bowl years ago. And I feel like it was just a hug between, colleagues that have worked alongside each other for years. They're friends. Like, that's kind of my take on it. I would be super excited for any of my friends who, was covering Super Bowl even, or like as a reporter, or you know what I mean, like on a big scale.
There's nothing wrong with that. I didn't really know how to feel about it when I saw it. But now it got on the air, it didn't bother me a bit. I've had my moments where I hug women from behind. It don't bother me.
Yeah. It didn't bother me. I get
why Twitter's a little skeptical about this, and I get why Swiss Beats will feel away, but get over yourself. They're 2 long time.
I agree with you there. I was like, come on, guys, get over this. Like, she's married. Like, they're friends. And like I said, they've worked, God, they've been in this business, 25 years now, 20 something years. Like, it's a hard business. And to get to their level is really, really difficult. And I think they were just excited to be there.
Yeah, they were excited to be there, and that's one of the positives and negatives, and that's one of the things we're going to talk about going to Super Bowl week. Once you told me your experience with this year's Super Bowl compared to last year, and from start to finish, and what you love about the experience and what you didn't like about it.
Sure, it was. I liked everything, to be honest. It was just as exciting. To be honest, I have a blast every Super Bowl week. This was my 4th or my 5th to cover. And every there's something a little different about every Super Bowl week, but this one I think every year it builds for me a little bit more and more. Even just career wise, like I have more contacts. People realize kind of like who I am. They ask who I'm reporting for. So every year I build a little bit more and more. And I know more people in the room. Like, I run into my friends at the parties, and everyone kind of knows who you are, and it's super cool. It was very similar to last year. last year I think I overbooked myself and I was trying to do like 5 or 6 things a day, which Super Bowl is very spread out, like the different events. So it's like you commit and then you're like, oh wait, there's no way I can be at media availability and then go to this other event because they're at the same time. Like you can't just spend an hour here and then an hour there. It's like an hour, it's like a half-hour drive. You know what I mean? So you really have to kind of pick your events. And I think this year I did probably 3 or 4 a day instead of 5 or 6. So I wasn't as exhausted. I mean, I'm still exhausted. Like I literally, like my soul is tired right now. Like I can't even explain it. But this is definitely my favorite week of the year, as being at Super Bowl and just feeling that energy, talking with all the players about the game, talking with family, talking with other reporters, being at Media Row, and just interviewing and talking to your other colleagues too. It's like I said, it's absolutely my favorite time. So, and I'm a little depressed that it's over. I get into this like after Super Bowl slum a little bit where I like don't want to get out of bed.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to actually be down as Super Bowl week to actually experience the field. I mean, I see some good interviews that you and Nikki got. I mean, you got to interview Patrick Mahomes. You got to, I mean, you got to.
Yeah. I'd have to say, I think my favorite interview, and I've said this a few times now, was Nick Bosa. Like, I didn't realize how nice. I mean, everyone's nice, don't get me wrong. But like, he's for the monster that he is on the field, he's so nice and kind of quiet. A little quirky too, which I kind of like. So yeah, a little quirky, a little quiet, very well spoken. And I mean, which I expected. But yeah, I just, he's just like a teddy bear, you know what I mean? Instead, like he's just such a monster, on defense, and then like you get this guy who's just really, really nice. So
I mean, I'm glad you got to be during Super Bowl media availability, interview those athletes, and the Super Bowl week was crazy. Everything I've seen, I mean, I've seen a lot of videos, and I watched a lot of videos of you and Nikki and me hanging out.
We have way more coming, guys, too. So make sure you turn into our
Instagram. And let's not forget that media party you went to.
Yes.
Watching the videos, it was kind of it didn't feel that it didn't move. I'm not moved by it. Let's be honest.
The media party?
Yeah.
We just didn't probably showcase it enough. It was actually really cool. There was 3 different levels.
But when I see all the videos of this staying around talking, I mean, they don't even look.
I mean, that was in the beginning of the.
It was the beginning, to be fair, but
yeah, it was the beginning of it. You kind of had to. After a while, you kind of have to put down the camera too. You know what I mean? And just enjoy being in the moment, because the Super Bowl week only happens once a year. So you kind of go in, you get some footage, and then you're like, okay, I'm going to put down my camera. But no, there was great performances. They brought in a lot of the Vegas shows to perform for all the media. There was a whole Chinese New Year celebration down the bottom, and then the first level was a museum, which was super, super cool. Second level was a casino theme, so there was blackjack, there was there was like craps, people playing poker, and then upstairs was more like a fantasy world, with like black lights and everything. It was super cool. So yeah, no, and also too, the media party, it's Tuesday, so not everyone is there yet. Thursday is really where everything kind of gets hopping, and then Vegas got really, really busy on Thursday. So
what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. I mean, I went there in 2005. I know what I'm talking about. I seen it happen with my own eyes. I mean, back then,
I love it. I go to Vegas at least twice a year. When I was like 10 or 15 years ago, I went a lot because I had a ton of friends that lived there, and I used to, I think I went 8 times one time in 1 year. So I actually had people calling me wondering if I was okay because I wasn't in Vegas every weekend. So I love Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, what's there not to love about being in Super Bowl week? I mean, and obviously you got to do that as well as being part of Radio Row, where all the big sports shows come together for that 1 week alone. To interview special guests, and I know obviously you had to have been involved with that.
Yeah, I was actually at a booth with Los Angeles Football Network, which was great. They brought in a lot of different people to interview. I personally interviewed Kevin Malone, their former MLB or former manager for the Dodgers, as well as the Orioles and the Expos, I think. But anyway, he was great. He now has used his platform for human trafficking. So he's got a book, and we talked all about that. We'll be releasing that interview soon. So yeah, we talked to him for like an hour because he was just so much fun to sit there and just talk about we'll talk about human trafficking and talk about the issue that it is, but then also about, Major League Baseball too, which my dad played minors for the Phillies. So that was great for me. And it was actually interesting because as we were talking to him, I was talking about my dad and I was talking about the Phillies, and I literally looked to my right and there was a guy wearing a Phillies hat standing right in front of me. And I was like, oh my God, like I was started crying. I was so like taken back, but it was just weird. In the middle of Radio Row, I looked to my right and I'm literally talking about the Phillies and my father, and like, there's a Phillies hat. Like, it was wild. So just confirmation I was in the right place at the right time, for sure.
Yeah, because you're a Philadelphia person. I mean, you live in California, but you're a Philadelphia person at heart.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, that's very interesting. That's very interesting. I mean, Rio was good. All the footage you captured was good. I can't wait.
Tons more. I mean, like I'm trying to even think of what we did. Like the media party, and then Wednesday, God, we went to some Jen Welter's events were great. She's the first NFL female coach. She did a whole day. It was called A Day in the Life, where we learned basically to be an NFL player. So that footage will be coming out.
I did see something like that you and Nikki went to there where you talk about how to be an NFL player.
I'm now thinking about being a kicker, to be honest. There's a women's league in LA, and I'm thinking about trying out because I'm
at this stage? You sure about that? You probably go ahead, try your luck.
As a kicker, I'd be fine. I'm not getting tackled anytime soon.
Okay, try your luck. That's all I gotta say.
What?
But onto the game itself. Very intense. I mean, it was a defensive slugfest at the beginning when the San Francisco 49ers went up 10-0. But I feel like when you get to the late third quarter, early fourth, that's when the game really starts to kick into high gear. There was so much back and forth exchange. In San Francisco, after they coughed up the lead, they tied. They tried to give up on a late second field goal, and then you had an overtime that went literally to the final seconds.
Literally to 3 seconds.
Patrick Mahomes, man. Another phenomenal moment. Another overtime Super Bowl. You can't get past that. You really can't. And I think one question.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I definitely think it mirrored, and there's only been one other overtime ever in Super Bowl history, and that was the 2017 Patriots and Falcons, which, I mean, the two of them I think are comparable.
Yeah, and I was just gonna ask you, and that's why I wanted to bring this up. I mean, which Super Bowl overtime game was better? Patriots versus Falcons or Chiefs versus 49ers too?
You know what? That is so hard because this was such a great game, and I honestly think Kyle Shanahan, whoever called the coin toss, and San Francisco chose to play, I think that's when they lost that game. With the Patriots and Falcons, I mean, the Patriots came back from a 25-point deficit. Brady had 5 drives in straight, to win that game. So I think the Patriots won it like 34-28. I remember Lady Gaga played the halftime show because I'm a huge Lady Gaga fan. I mean, that's a tough question. I don't know if I can answer it. They both were great games. I think watching Brady come back from a 25-point deficit, and then, with 5 straight drives to touchdowns, that's pretty darn exciting. This was just, I thought we were going to go into double overtime, which I really would have been so excited to see because it's never happened in a Super Bowl before. But then obviously Kansas City scored in the last 3 seconds, which was as exciting because they only had 3 seconds. So I don't know. I'm not answering your question. I apologize. But
yeah,
really exciting.
I don't know about double overtime because remember the Chiefs were down by 3. Had to give it up a field goal.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm saying like if they would not have gotten that touchdown, it would have gone into double. It would have. Well, it depends. Yeah, we'll see. You're right. I guess they got the 3 points and then they were down, so they would have. San Francisco would have won. But yeah, or if they would have kicked a field goal, then they would have been tied and gone into double overtime.
Exactly, and but it's because his victory. Patrick Mahomes was his third Super Bowl in the past 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
He built a dynasty in Kansas City.
He has. And I think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be a team to be reckoned with for a really long time. Also, too, Patrick Mahomes just beat the record for most Super Bowl wins by an All-American, like an All-Academia. It was also before it was Peyton Manning and Eli Manning, and Patrick Mahomes were tied at 2, and now Patrick just won the third. So yeah, another record broken. This one because of smarts.
Yeah, a very impressive record indeed. Mm-hmm. But with this Super Bowl victory, does this make Patrick Mahomes the new Tom Brady of this era? Because remember, nearly 20 years ago, Tom Brady won 3 Super Bowls in this span of 4 years. Mm-hmm. Now we get to Patrick Mahomes when that literally started off the dynasty. Well, not really started the dynasty because Tom Brady wasn't a Super Bowl for a while. There's losses to my New York Giants, and then there's and then he's won after that. He's won 4 Super Bowls in the next 6 years.
Yeah,
it's only lost like 2 of them. It only lost like 1 or 2 of them, and then there's a victory one as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer.
Yep.
But is Patrick Mahomes the new Tom Brady of this era with Tom Brady retired?
I mean, my personal opinion, yes. I actually said that when Kansas City played the Buccaneers in 2020 during COVID, that Super Bowl, they were saying Brady was like the GOAT, and then they were calling Patrick Mahomes like the baby goat or something like that. You know what I mean? Like they were making like I think he's gone to GOAT status at this point. I think there's several more Super Bowl rings in his future. He might even beat Brady. I mean, he's young. He's 28, 29. Brady was, in his 40s when he retired. So Patrick's got a lot more football in him. So I think he's going to beat Tom Brady. I think he's going to beat his record.
Yeah, he can actually do it. And not to mention, this is obviously a much better Super Bowl run than the wins he had last year against the Philadelphia Eagles. And then a few seasons before that, and then like 1 or 2 seasons before that against the 49ers back when they played the Super Bowl in Miami. Right. This is obviously a much better run.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the first Super Bowl run that he had to go through 2 road games in order to get to the Super Bowl. So
absolutely.
That. You really can't.
Yeah, no, for sure. Kansas, and I still can't believe Kansas City came into the playoffs as a wild card. And then they go and they win the Super Bowl. It's kind of like the Philadelphia Phillies, except they didn't win.
Yeah, that's very interesting. But with all jokes aside, I mean, with this entire incredible Super Bowl run, there's also comes like the little celebrity backstory going on because as you all know that Taylor Swift is it.
I know. Oh, Chelsea, hold on 1 second. My dog is like attacking my cat. Give me 1 second. Come here, you crazy thing. Sorry, my dog is still a puppy and he's like attacking the cat. All right, go ahead. Sorry, it's Taylor Swift.
But on seriousness though, this also marks the start of Travis Kelce's relationship with Taylor Swift. You know Taylor Swift, right?
Oh, of course. No.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Everybody
who
knows
doesn't love Taylor Swift? Who doesn't love Taylor Swift?
I think that the relationship between Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift impacted the whole mentality for this man winning another ring.
I mean, first of all, didn't Taylor win like album of the year, record of the year at the Grammys, and I think that pushed him forward. I also think I didn't like that, and I spoke about this at the Blonde Blitz last night. I hated the fact that he attacked. Hold on 1 second. The dog is attacking. Get over here. I'm like, hi guys, this is my dog. I hated the fact that Kelce basically attacked, Andy Reid. I just thought it was a little much. I thought he had gotten a little bit too big for his britches, and I think he wanted to show off for Taylor, and it just didn't. It was definitely not a good look. It was definitely the ick factor, and I know the media they were like, oh, they talked it out, they're fine. And Andy Reid was like, I love Travis, and Travis is like, I love Coach Reid, and everyone's good now. But yeah, I mean, we'll see if Taylor and Travis work out. I don't know either of them except for the interviews I've done with Travis. I've never met Taylor, but good for them. If they're in love and they want to go for it, great. They look happy together.
Yeah, I mean, gossip is gossip. I mean, I didn't really have no feelings about it.
Yeah. I love the fact that there's.
I always thought that Taylor Swift was just there as a fan of Travis Kelce, but the fact that they're seeing each other, I mean, I don't really have no feelings for it. I mean, it feels like it's like Travis Kelce's always great with the ladies. I mean, not too many years ago, he was in a relationship with some lady named
Kayla
Nicole, and now she's single, doing fitness videos, and and fun facts. My friend personally knows her. So.
Oh, really? She seems cool. Yeah. I've never, but and I do love the fact that
somebody that knows her. So this is a very interesting approach.
Yeah.
I feel like I have to talk about this because even though my show is literally nothing but supposed to have the best news, stats, and everything from college to the pros, this is literally involving an athlete. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, and I agree. And I think I love the fact that Taylor has brought her audience to the NFL. You know what I mean? I definitely heard kind of a buzz around the Super Bowl that fathers were really excited that their daughters wanted to sit down and watch football with them and watch the Super Bowl with them and ask questions. And I think that's great because we want to get as many women involved in football as possible. It's a great sport and everyone should enjoy it. So I love that like fathers and daughters can watch a game together. That's how I got into sports. With my dad and I used to watch the games together. I would learn from him, and that's why I love baseball. It's why I love football. It was because of my father. So
yeah. Speaking of women being involved, I mean, this is a good way to transition to since you already got your first season as a host of the Blonde Blitz with Nikki. I mean, why don't you tell me about like the future of Blonde Blitz doing the journey off season?
Absolutely. Nikki and I are really excited. We're keep on going. Obviously the season's over, but let's be honest, NFL's never over. I mean, we've got the combine coming up. We've got the draft coming up. We're going to be having a lot of interviews coming up with current players as well as former players. We made a ton of contacts at the Super Bowl. And also I have, from previous that we're reaching out and gonna a lot of people are super excited to come on the show. We actually had a great interview with Brian Urlacher. Urlacher. I always mess up his name. And he said he would come on, so we're excited to have him. I'm also in the works to get one of the Kansas City players to possibly come on our next show is on the 28th. So we may be having a Super Bowl champion on our show for the first show back. So no, we've got a ton planned coming up, and Nikki and I are really excited. We're gonna rework some of the segments and make it a little bit more exciting and just build on what we did this season.
Yeah, and I also know that Nikki's a hardcore Knicks fan. How is she feeling about the way they're playing right now?
Are they? Yeah, she's probably working and watching the game at the same time. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, that wraps up this episode. Nothing but that sports. So thank you for stopping by to not only discuss football and our thoughts and prayers go to all the victims of the Kansas City Championship Parade. And congratulations to Catilin Clark for breaking the all-time record. And you're going to see my recorded reaction and much of the content to come as we are at the end of NFL season. But the discussion is never over when it comes to football, clearly. Because you got UFL coming up, which, the league that where the USFL and the XFL merged together to create the UFL. And then later on, and then next year, college football is going to turn to an 18 playoff. Yeah, the Pac-12 is dead, unfortunately.
Right. Yeah.
And you got the return of EA Sports' college football, named College Football 25. They're going to reveal their full trailer this May coming up. So, yeah.
Lots of football coming up. Lots of sports coming up.
Feel free to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel and my Instagram account, Rafiq_Louis BK. Subscribe to Deb's Instagram account at Sports Report Deb.
Yeah, Sport Report Deb.
Sport Report Deb, and then check out the Blonde Blitz.
Yep.
For Deb Webcast, Rafiq was on. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.